Now, when you go home tonight, and if your family or friends should ask you, what did speaker speak about at the dinner last night? What did he speak about? He spoke about mental hygiene. Mental hygiene? What's that? What's that? Could you tell them? In case you can't, here is the finest definition of mental hygiene I've ever seen. I didn't see it in a psychiatry book. I saw it on a menu in a restaurant. And this is what it said. As you ramble on through life, brother, whatever be your goal, keep your eye upon the donut and not upon the hole. It means be a little optimistic. For heaven's sakes, the man comes home and says to his wife, I lost my job. He says, well, so what? You'll find another job. I don't think I'll ever find another job. All right, you've convinced me. Let's turn on the gas. Speaking of optimists, I know a man who's really an optimist. He's 82 years old, just got married, and started looking for a new house near a school. Now, he's sure to be a success, don't you think? A lady walked up to me after my talk one night. She said, Dr. Banks, I've listened very carefully to every word you've said. I'd like you to show me how I can become permanently well-adjusted. I said, the cemeteries, they're permanently well-adjusted. May I share a little slogan with you that I've stolen from a Wisconsin dairy? On every one of their milk bottles, here's what they've printed. Our cows are not contented. They are anxious to do better. Now, I hope that you are not too confused on the difference between a neurotic and a psychotic. It will help you remember it if I tell you that the neurotic is the type of person who is always building dream castles in the air. The psychotic is the one who moves in. And the psychiatrist collects the rent. By the way, do you know the difference between a psychiatrist and a proctologist? You know what a proctologist is? He's a medical specialist who deals exclusively with the disorders of the rear, a sort of rear admiral of medicine. I mention it to you because I want to tell you about a psychiatrist and a proctologist who went into practice together. You're beginning to notice the possibilities, aren't you? They wanted to print up a little card that would very quickly and simply tell what they did. One of them said, why don't we just say nuts and butts? See, that's simple, isn't it? The other one said, well, it's simple, but it's not dignified. And he thought a while. He said, how about rears and queers? Well, that didn't pass either. You know what they settled for? Odds and ends. Now, let me ask you a little question. Answer this question to yourselves, please, not out loud. How many of you believe that you are normal? Are you normal if you talk to yourself? Yes, so long as you know that it's you that's doing the talking. You're not crazy if you talk to yourself, only if you listen. Now, what is the difference between normal and abnormal? What is it the insane do that you don't do? Not a blessed thing. The only difference between normal and abnormal is not what you do, it's how much you do and when. For example, aren't there some mornings you get up, you feel depressed, blue, don't want to work at all? Well, that's normal. But if you should stay depressed, then the mental hospital will come and get you. Aren't there some mornings you get up, you feel very, very happy? But if you stay very, very happy, they come and get you too. I never talk about normalcy, but I don't think of one little man who walked into a psychiatrist's office, sat down very quietly, took a cigarette out of his pocket, opened up the cigarette, took the tobacco, and stuffed the tobacco into his nose. The psychiatrist looked at him, he said, oh, I see you need my help. He said, yeah, you got a match? Did you ever know anyone who talks like this? They're all against me. They hate me. They're trying to get rid of me. Now, you're dealing with a case of paranoia, delusions of persecution, and the mental hospitals are clogged with these people. And yet every one of you here this evening is just a little bit paranoid, just a wee bit. Ask any man here about his mother-in-law. Here's what I mean by paranoia. A lady went to the racetrack. While she was waiting for the race to begin, she tapped the fellow on the shoulder. She said, could you lend me a safety pin, please? I'm sorry, I don't have one. Have you a safety pin, please? No, I'm sorry. Suddenly, over the loudspeaker, she heard, they're off! And she fainted. Don't explain it to him. It won't help at all. Now, I know that all of you have had physical examinations. Some of you may take one regularly each year on your birthday. I wonder if you've ever had a mental examination. Because if you haven't, ladies and gentlemen, with my compliments right now, here is a completely free psychiatric examination. I'm about to ask you 10 tiny questions, the answers to which will show how well-adjusted you are.